forgot to use my microphone. We're at T-Centralen. It's not actually all that busy right now, so I'm kind of glad I picked this time to, I'm stepping back so that people can get past, because people often walk down the sides of the platform. We're on the lower platform. The track that you're seeing behind me is the northbound track for Tunnelbana 2. This track, which is now behind me that you're seeing, is the southbound track for Tunnelbana 1. Upstairs, you have the opposite, northbound Tunnelbana 1 and southbound Tunnelbana 2. So, anyway, and dirty looks from somebody. It feels like I'm where I am. I'm sorry, that was not nice. Anyway, so yes, we look around here a little bit. Again, this is the southbound track for Tunnelbana 1. And we can kind of go up, and if we go upstairs, there's not really a whole lot to see here. I'm trying to remember what the art is on this level. I'm honestly not sure. But anyway. So again, on the level we just left, we had northbound Tunnelbana 2 on our right and southbound Tunnelbana 1 on our left. We come up here on our right, we have northbound Tunnelbana 1, and on the left, southbound Tunnelbana 2. So what this does is it makes it possible to, if you're coming from the north, going southbound, and you need to change directions on the other line, you can just change across the platform. I do this fairly often when I need to change, but when because I'm coming from the Green Line, I live on the northern or geographically western part of the Green Line, and if I need to go north on the Red Line, then I just change here. If I were coming south on the Green Line and needed to go south on the Red Line, then I would change across the platform at Gamla Stan or Slussen, most likely Gamla Stan. Anyway, this is the exit that leads to the Central Railway Station and some other amenities and things. So there also is a connection to the commuter trains that we will see up here. Take a quick look at that, but we're not going to actually go down and see the commuter train station. That's for a future series. Stations of the Stockholm commuter rail. We'll see if that ever happens. But anyway, so you can actually see a sign there that says Pendeltåg commuter rail. So that is this way. Oh, look. Closures on the, yeah. Oh, I love how they say, in Swedish they say summer closures, and in English they say train service changes. Anyway, yeah. There are a lot of things going on this summer, as there often are. But anyway, this is have departure boards for the commuter trains, which don't run as frequently as one would like, but you know, most of the year they're pretty good, but in the summer, especially when there are works going on, a lot of times they're not great. I'll tell you what, we can look at this briefly. These glass things, I guess they're glass, that are suspended above these escalators are also an art. I like this passageway and these escalators. It's actually quite nice. So, but we will go back. Actually, we can exit here. Tunnelbana is on our left, so we can go this way. I'm a bit of a hard ass about there being left-hand pedestrian traffic in this passageway. It's always been that way. So, but it's gotten a bit mixed up because there are now, in this passageway we're coming to here in a moment, there are now businesses on both sides. And so people tend to kind of use both sides of it willy-nilly and then walk on whichever side. So, but to me, this is a tradition. There are also these big decals on the floor that kind of tell you which way to go. So, yep. I think we can go up and see the Central Railway Station as well. Why not? Since we're here, we might as well. My goodness gracious. Okay. Over there are restrooms that are like paid restrooms and baggage storage, baggage lockers. So when we go up this escalator, we will be in the main hall of the railway station. So if we ever get there. A lot of these ads are talking about it being, the air being hot, which it is, and they're kind of adding to my misery. I wish they wouldn't do that, but anyway. So this is the main hall. As you can see from the signs, you can go through there to track 10. That it takes you directly to the platform for track 10. Tracks 11 through 19, you have to go downstairs to reach. We go this way. As you can see, this leads to tracks 3 through 8. And also tracks 1 and 2 are used by Arlanda Express, which is the airport express service that is nice and fast and uses very nice trains and is very expensive, at least for one person, so I don't use it much. Want Burger King? There it is. I'm actually going to take this escalator up and see what's there. I haven't been up there in a while. There used to be a Lush store here that I used to go to the point where the store that's not too far from here in Dortmund, I was in there one day, and the woman who was waiting on me said, "Didn't you used to come into the Lush store at T-Centralen?" And I was like, "Yes." "Didn't you color your hair?" "Yes." So that was kind of funny. But anyway. I want to see what's left up here because Lush moved out, and I don't know how much other stuff is still here.
The 1511 train to Arlanda Central, Knivsta, Uppsala, will shortly arrive at track 16B.
All right, that is a Mälartåg. You can also take that to Arlanda if you want to, and it's not much slower, and I think it's a lot cheaper. So, but then you have to pay an access charge when you get to Arlanda if you go there by train, because that is part of the deal that they made with the company that built the railway to Arlanda, and that company still owns the railway. So yes. All right, we can go back now. Boy, we've come rather far afield from the tunnelbana, but it won't take us but a few minutes to get back. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Okay. There are elevators here to the tracks, which I didn't really realize. You can get to track 10 this way? Oh, how interesting. I did not realize that either. Wow, I'm learning a lot today. Back when the commuter trains used the main railway tracks, before they were put into a tunnel, which was in 2017, here at the Central Station, the commuter trains used tracks 13 through 16, and they were frequent enough that usually there were never any other trains on those tracks. So when I needed to head home, back then I lived in Sundbyberg, and I could take either T-Centralen 3, the blue line, or the commuter trains home. If I wanted to get home from here, I knew to go to, I believe, the northbound trains were on tracks 15 and 16 is my recollection. 13 and 14 were for the southbound trains. So, yeah. Anyway, as I said, there's your Burger King if you want it. So, we will head back down to the tunnelbana. By the way, I don't know what all this construction is. It looks like they're doing something with the roof, but it's hard to tell. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of a lot. I was actually getting my card out of my wallet so that it'll be easier for me to get to, and I need it to get through the barriers when we get back downstairs. So I forgot to do that earlier, so. As you can see from the sign there, tracks 11 through 19 are accessible down that way. I believe there are both stairs, in some cases escalators, and possibly also elevators. I'm not sure the elevators go down to this level, but anyway, yeah. Walk on the left. Somebody sort of figured out they're supposed to be on the right. That's good. There's the entrance to the commuter rail from here. So, but we're going to go straight ahead into the tunnelbana. By the way, those escalators go to and from the street. And that's also where you can get streetcars that go to Djurgården. Sorry for the wonky picture. I had to get my card out. I'm heading down now sort of as if I were going to the blue line, but we're not going all the way down. Boy, it's hot. I'm sweating. But isn't it air conditioned? Yeah, no, it is not. It's very much not air conditioned, I promise you. As you can see, this connection is to the commuter rail. The commuter rail station is called Stockholm City. It's separate from the tunnelbana, so it has a separate name. For some reason, they named the for some reason that I can't figure out, they named the streetcar stop T-Centralen as well, which I just think is wrong because it's not part of the tunnelbana. But anyway, it is in fact true that the T in T-Centralen stands for tunnelbana. So this is where you would go down to the blue line. As you can see, that's a pretty popular way to go. So. I'm crossing over to the other side just to avoid the crowds, or try to, as I see there are crowds on this side too. And here, as you can see, there's another stairway that goes down to both the blue line and the commuter rail. I'm not covering the blue line in this video because the blue line station is somewhat physically separate and it opened much later, so I'm actually going to make a separate video about it. That will come later. Hi. Fine. This is the Sergels Torg. This, I think, is the easier way to get to the streetcar. So bring us, if we go the right way, this will bring us up on the street to the streetcar, and we can actually go and look at, see what's happening at the streetcar stop. It's unfortunately, because of mechanical problems, it's normal for some of the streetcars to be out of service, so they're abandoned intervals. They're canceled departures. So yeah, jackass. Sorry. You can't go in here. Walking here exhausts me. I've always said that walking here is like living in a pinball machine. So, if we can stop and look, which seems to be a challenge for no good reason. This is Sergels Torg. The area down at the bottom is called Plattan, which basically just means the plate. I don't know what is a platta. It means a lot of things, but anyways, because it's flat, it's just a flat open area. This is the cultural center on the right. The tall sculpture in the middle is, I forget what it's called, but anyway, this entire area, the square and the sculpture and everything are from the 1960s, as you might guess. The streetcar is this way. Please stop polluting my air. There's actually a streetcar just coming in. So we can cross over and just take a quick glance at that. Because it almost always takes quite a while to load. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah. So, this is, as I say, this is the streetcar that goes to Djurgården from T-Centralen. And this is a stop that is called T-Centralen, and I do not understand why they called it that, but anyway, that's what it's called. That's life. Yeah. So, we can go back down. There some other connections to and from T-Centralen that I'm not showing because they actually connect to the blue line. Make sure I'm not going to get hit by a bicycle. I'm a cyclist myself, but I know you do have to look out for cyclists when you cross a bike lane. So, yep. Paris Hilton is representing the brand on everyone's lips. Okie dokie. And apparently there's a line to get in. Is she appearing? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, wow. Interesting. Here we go. Back in and back down. Wow. So, on our right, there's an exit that goes directly out onto the bottom level of the square that we looked at earlier. This is SL Customer Service. This has been here for ages. Oh no, it has closed. Right here is closed. Great. I used to come here when the schedules changed and get printed schedules years ago when we didn't have smartphones and things. It just was a good idea to have schedules in my bag for the areas where I traveled frequently and everything. And they don't even print schedules anymore, which is, to me, is sad. But anyway, yeah. So this is the main level of the square here. So we can go back in. That's pretty much it for T-Centralen. Actually, let me see if I can find some art, and I think there's more art actually on the upper platform. By the way, over there are escalators that go down to the blue line and also allow you to access commuter rail. So I think I'm wrong. I'm going down to the lower platform, but we will see what we can find in the way of art down here and then check out the upper platform. I was thinking backwards. Whoops, it happens. We're going back to the platform we came in on because we were on a northbound train on T-Centralen 2, the red line. So, yeah. Train to Robestan is leaving, apparently. Its doors are closed. I assume it's leaving. Yep, there it goes. Train to Skarpnæk is about to leave. I know that some of the art in this station is decorative tile, but I don't think this is that. It's very ordinary tile. By the way, I can mention another thing when we get up here. These, of course, are what New York calls punch boxes. This is the stopping position for short trains on T-Centralen 2, and that's for them to punch their destination so they get sent the right way. I'm honestly not seeing much in the way of art on this platform. But I know there's art on the upper platform. So it may only be there, or I may just be missing it. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Oh, let's see. Let me see something else. On the upper platform, there are also stone benches, which, in addition to being rather comfortable to sit on, are also an art. So, but they're other kinds of art up there as well. Southbound red line train on the left, excuse me. Northbound Tunnel 1 green line is on the right. Directly in front of us is one of the stone benches I was talking about. These are part of the art in the station. This column also represents some of the art in the station. There's more than one column similar to this, I think. This tile on this track is part of the art in the station. And they're decorative tile patterns on the track wall on this side, which I'm actually going to wait and let this train go, and then I will show you what they look like. And they're also part of the art. I don't really know why. Wow, the upper platform has all the art and the lower platform has nothing, but apparently that's the deal. The lower platform has plain wooden benches and no decorative tile that I could find. So, anyway. Another view of some of that decorative tile while we wait for the train to depart. These patterns are what I'm talking about. So yes, this is the art in this original station. The Tunnel 3 station, the blue line, has a lot more art. It's a cave station, so it feels completely different from this one. This is a fairly conventional station box with arched ceilings, not much to it. So anyway, I'm going to shut down and move along. So